Authorities are still looking for Filipinos who went missing at the onset of the escalating conflict between Israel and Hamas. This early, experts are painting economic scenarios that may come out of new tensions in the Middle East. What's the impact on the Philippines? A special House committee recommends zero confidential funds for the offices of Vice President Sara Duterte and other key government agencies. Fast, focused, and fearless, here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Denise Tan. One Filipina in Israel is feared dead following the attack of Hamas on Israel. Philippine Ambassador to Israel Pedro Lailo told Radio 5 that they are still verifying this information.
Simulan natin yung proseso, no? Kasi kagabi lang na-report. Meron silang proseso kasi dyan, yung police, mga kailangan pa ng mga DNA testing.
Yes.
Pero yung labor attaché natin, first thing in the morning, i-check yan. Wala pa tayong full details sa kung anong cause of death. So, titingnan pa.
7 Filipinos in Israel remain unaccounted for and are feared to have been taken by militant group Hamas. The Filipinos could not be contacted by phone or through their social media accounts. The Philippine Embassy in Israel said it's working closely and non-stop with security authorities and community contacts for any new information. So far, at least 22 Filipinos have been rescued and have been transferred to safer areas. According to records of Israel's population and immigration, there are about 30,000 documented Filipinos in the country. In light of the volatile situation in that part of the Middle East, Malacanang is recommending the indefinite halt of all travel from the Philippines to Israel. That's until the situation there stabilizes. The Philippine Embassy in Israel is now discouraging pilgrimage tours. A wider conflict in the Middle East stokes fears of skyrocketing fuel prices and their impact on inflation and growth. China Bank chief economist Dominique Velasquez says if the crisis in Israel escalates and affects neighboring economies, crude prices may spike. That's because the nation is situated near oil-producing countries. III Capital Management sees a long drawn-out war posing risks to inflation and growth outlook around the globe. Meanwhile, other analysts say the conflict may deal a blow to economic confidence and leave central bankers battling new inflationary trends. Again, that would depend on the intensity and duration of the fighting. Here in the Philippines, local pump prices are down by around 3 pesos per liter for both gasoline and kerosene. Diesel prices, on the other hand, are slashed by 2 pesos 45 centavos per liter. The Energy Department cannot say yet if the downtrend will continue next week. With investors spooked by the Israel and Hamas war, oil prices jumped more than $4 a barrel in early Asian trade on Monday.
So hindi tayo basta makapagsabi, napaka-volatile ng presyo pan. So we just manage our expectation na kung talagang may pangyayari para bumaba ang presyo, so i-take advantage natin. Kung i-implement yung bukas na rollback, magne-net increase na lang siya ng 12.25 for gasoline, and then sa diesel, mga 11.35, ang kerosene, 5.94. So yun ang net increase simula ng taon, January hanggang bukas na adjust.
We're bringing you more stories after this quick break. Keep it here on One News. Thanks for staying with us here on One News Now. I'm Denise Tan. Several government offices will be given zero confidential funds in the next year's budget. That's if whole Congress will heed the recommendation of some of their colleagues. These include the Office of the Vice President and the Departments of Education, Agriculture, Information and Communications Technology, as well as Foreign Affairs. Instead, the House of Small Committees said the bulk of the 2024 national budget will be channeled to agencies focused on ensuring national security, especially in the West Philippine Sea. The panel was tasked by the House plenary to introduce amendments to the 2024 General Appropriations Bill. It is uncertain if the reallocations will stand when the budget goes through further deliberation. President Bongbong Marcos has suspended LTFRB Chief Teofilo Guadiz III over allegations of corruption within his agency. More from this report.
Araw-araw ini-stress nyo ito mga kasamahan ko. Araw-araw. Pinakakain nyo kami ng kaba na hanggang December 31 na lamang kami. Tapos, mga kurap pala kayo.
Manibela Chairman Mar Valbuena was fuming when he spoke before the media. Valbuena expresses disbelief that on top of the looming deadline of the PUV modernization program, there is also alleged corruption within the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board. This follows revelations made by LTFRB Chairman Teofilo Guadiz's former executive assistant over the alleged corruption system in the board, where there are routes, provisional authority, and special permits for sale.
Kapag ikaw operator ka, gusto mong makuha itong daan na ito, lalo na sa probinsya, magre-request ka, modification of route. Tapos, kung gusto mong mapadali, gusto mong mapasa iyan, kahit hindi pwede, hanapin mo ako. Tapos, yun na.
Former Executive Assistant Jeffrey Tumbado says these transactions are worth millions of pesos and are even rampant in regional offices.
Halos araw-araw ako ang binubulungan. But then nililinaw ko, walang nanghihingi, kundi may naglalagay.
Amid the revelation, Tumbado did not drop names, but alleges that officials as high up as those from Malacanang may be involved in the schemes. Tumbado believes his former boss Guadiz was also a victim.
I don't believe na siya lang ang pang sarili niya yun. I mean, may instruction din from higher ups.
Tumbado says he has enough evidence to file cases against those involved. Following the revelation, Manibela is also gearing up for another transport strike next week.
Simula sa susunod na Lunes, hindi tayo bibiyahe. Dadalhin natin yung mga sasakyan natin sa harapan ng LTFRB Main, sa harapan ng DOTR hanggang Malacanang. Doon na natin bibubusinan to. Doon na natin itatambak ang ating mga sasakyan. Kung ayaw na tayong bigyan ng kabuhayan, kung ayaw na tayong mabuhay nitong gobyerno po na ito.
Guadiz, for his part, denied his former assistant's allegations.
Wala po akong alam. As of this morning, nasa office po naman ako. Wala pa po akong nalalaman na ganyan. Pero kung meron man po, haharapin naman po natin. Malinis po ang ating kalooban.
Malacanang has announced the suspension of the LTFRB chief following the supposed expose, saying that the president does not tolerate any form of misconduct. The palace also says President Bongbong Marcos has ordered for a probe into the alleged corruption in the LTFRB. So far, Guadiz has not commented on his suspension.
And this just in, Attorney Mercy Leynes is now officer in charge of the LTFRB following Guadiz's suspension. In sports, 2 players considered to play for Gilas Pilipinas in the Asian Games never made a team. That's because they were caught asking for the moon. This was bared by sports officials in a post-Asian briefing by the PBA on Monday. PBA Chair Ricky Vargas said the 2 were immediately dropped from the options after the incident. Vargas declined to name the cagers. Alfrancis Chua, sports director of San Miguel Corporation, said the players who suited up in the Asian never asked for a single centavo to be part of the team. Same was the case for the 4 cagers who were replaced at the last minute due to eligibility issues. According to Chua, this was what made the team extra special, the same squad that ended the 6-decade Asian gold drought of the Philippines.
He said, yes, I love the country. I will play for the team. And then he says, talk to my manager. Then the manager came back and says, he will play as long as you pay him. Tim and Al Francis said, no. He's asking for the moon. It's going to destroy the team. He was not the only one. There was another one that
Walang ni isang player. Remember this, ha? Doon sa nag-gold. May makukuha ba kami galing sa Pilipinas? Wala. Walang nagtanong.
One News Now will be back tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. I'm Denise Tan. We are One News, all sides, all the time.